I'm in the dark magic room. I didn't turn the light on. Um, I don't know how to get out. I can't find the doorway. Um, it's kind of scary in here. Oh, yeah, the conversation. Oh, yeah, I was going to make a video about this. I don't have a studio. I'm not bald like that. My channel's doesn't exist. There's no followers, really. I think I have like 9 or 10 loyal people out there. I hope you get my notification and you get to see my videos. I know they're crazy. And I know they're out of context for a lot of people because a lot of people weren't in the conversation previously. So we're not doing YouTube drama like Hassan Piker stuff. A terrible human being. But anyways, terrible human being. Absolutely terrible. There are a lot of terrible human beings out there. The internet just made it more obvious how terrible some of these people are. It's like that's terrible. Like, anyways, wow, got stuck on that thought that these are terrible human beings. Like the number of them, it's actually kind of terrifying that we live on the planet with these people. It's kind of terrifying to think of look out and see some of these people the way they behave, and you don't know who's who. You start looking around and start thinking you're going to see those people in your neighborhood. It's crazy. Anyways, the economic conversation about why space is uneconomical. Well, if we're going to advance mining to a degree to where we can actually make use of all these, commodities, gold, silver, platinum, some of these consumables like helium, which gets consumed and not replaced, helium-3, which is what we need for fusion reactors, to start fusion reactors, and all this long story, long sort of the things that we need here on Earth that are not very abundant, and thus their price is relatively high, which, the owners are usually very wealthy people, and they're not into selling this stuff unless it's at a profit. And I don't know about any of you in particular, can't necessarily afford to, drop 20 grand on a gold necklace every other day or something like that. So I can't afford enough gold to build my spaceship with on a solid gold or, gold lining to keep the radiation from frying my brain if I go into space. But the point is, if we went into space, we mined all these minerals and elements out there where they're very abundant compared to down here where they're not very abundant. The initial cost would be relatively high, but as you brought more and more of it back, you would push the costs down. I'm not interested in space for making Earth or humans multiplanetary. One planet's bad enough, in my opinion. I don't understand why some people want to go to Mars. I've seen Mars. I've seen the pictures. I watch the rover all the time. And I think it's cool that they landed some rovers and helicopters on Mars and get to play RC Rock'em Sock'em robots on Mars with a bunch of dirt and rocks. But I don't quite comprehend why you'd want to live there. Like, there's nothing there that looks appealing to me. Living in a plastic box is not something I'm interested in personally. I'm not knocking you or attacking you if you're into living in a box made out of plastic and steel or carbon fiber or one of those really long multisyllabic plastics that they use in space. Those are. You guys really need to work on a better name for some of these plastics and these polymers, especially these thermal contracted polymers, because there's like 15 syllables in the name of that plastic, and I cannot pronounce that. I don't know who can pronounce it. Probably the guy who invented this stuff, but I definitely can't. And I'm not the dumbest person in the world, but I feel like I am sometimes when I try to read that name, and I have no idea how that's pronounced. It has like 15 syllables in it. That's crazy. That's some crazy stuff too. I read the specifications of what that plastic is capable of. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. Good work, whoever invented that. But we need to go out and mine space, not just drove satellites up so some guy over in whatever country can find hotter white girls to beat off to or masturbate to or whatever it is you call it. Which is, by the way, causing a problem when white girls go out to other countries. They tend to have a very warped perception of how white girls are. They tend to think of them as, I believe the correct term is shiksa. I think that's the term for them, shiksa. I'm not certain if that's the Muslim or the Jewish term. I couldn't tell you, I don't know. But the term for the white girls or the European, my people's girls, is shiksa. And there's a lot of non-respectful men out there that apparently think that that's what all of white girls and stuff like that are like, and that's not good. That's not cool. It's very disrespectful. I've seen the videos of them pulling their thingamajigger out and flashing them with their wing, and that's kind of disgusting. But you need to understand we need to build something more than just satellites so that guy can check out hot white girls, doing the dirty on video. Speaking of which, girls probably should tone it down a little. I understand a lot of those girls are trafficked, and that's also something we should work at. Me personally, I intend to write up an amendment on running for Congress. And I'm not the most sophisticated person, I'm not the most advanced person, but I'm definitely going to write an amendment about making human trafficking illegal. That needs to end. We really need to create a real punishment for it, an actual punishment. Not just, hey, we might arrest you. Owning another human being needs to be illegal. Trafficking another human being, especially against their will, needs to be illegal. And that's not a car alarm, that's somebody in their car honking, by the way. That person sitting out there stalking me. But anyways, so what we're saying is, yeah, they're out there stalking me. Yeah, that's what my life is like. So what I'm saying is we need to get out to space to mine, not go to Mars. And I know Musk has got all this support and all this money and stuff, but I want to make the world advance in technology significantly. And one of the things that holds us back is the limitations of the elements and how much it costs to produce some of the technologies that we use every day that actually makes our life easier and more pliable, more comfortable. Like the things that provide the form of luxury we're asking for. So everybody's asking for, not just myself and the fat lady down the street. She is fat. She is very, very, that's a very big woman. She needs to go on a diet for her own safety. And for mine, because I feel like she's going to try and run me down and crush me or something. She is very large. But the point being is, this is something I believe we should do. And I truly do believe that space exploration is the future of humanity. And I think that starts with mining, probably because we don't have enough of the minerals and the elements that we need to build in space here on Earth. And we can't really, like the cost of taking something from here to put it in space, to build something in space with it, or to build it here on Earth to throw it in space is extremely exorbitant. Like it's way too expensive to do some of this stuff. So it's way more beneficial for us to get into space to a level. And I'm not asking for handouts. I'm not asking for government money. I'm asking to do this on the private sector. People who are interested in doing this with me. I am on your side, yes. Including the landscaping guys, the Japanese guys trying to build construction equipment on Mars, or not on Mars, excuse me, on the moon. Those guys too, yeah, we're all in this together. We all have the same end goal. We want to be able to commodify the production of material goods in space and be able to construct stuff in space, whether that be, the next generation of rockets that can land on their butt or other stuff, or, Mars rovers or robots and everything, pretty much everything. We have to be able to pretty much reproduce everything up in space. So if we have to produce it here on Earth to create stuff to put in space, in orbit around Earth, we probably have to be able to reproduce every single one of these technologies or these methods of manufacturing in a form either on the moon or in a space station somewhere. My bet is the moon would probably be safer because you bury it in the regolith, so it has an extra level of protection from meteorites and asteroids. And since we're getting pretty good at this automation stuff, we should be able to do it almost entirely automated. And if any people need to be up there, it'd probably be highly paid technicians at most, just to start the production, to be able to produce stuff up there. And we don't necessarily need to mine the moon, although that would be a less costly starting alternative than mining rocks out in the middle of nowhere. But hey, that's me. That's what I would like to do. I'd like to fulfill John McCain's vision. Has nothing to do with his daughter. This is John McCain himself. I may not have agreed with him politically 100%, but the moon base was the one thing that I made fun of that I thought was real. That's a real American right there. That's something an American would want to do. Not because it goes back to that JFK thing again. We don't decide to go to the moon because it's easy, but because it's hard. And John McCain said, hey, building a moon base, that sounds really hard. Let's do that. And that's the America I grew up in. You look at something and say, that's extremely difficult to do. Let's try and do that. And that's America first to me. I guess that is America first because I said it was. And since I came up with I restarted the America first thing. I guess doing the hard thing is what America first is about. And yeah. I hope all of you are having a great holiday this week. Happy Thanksgiving, America.